only gained like 5 points from there.
Yeah.
So it's their performance of late has been seriously lacking. And so while they can't improve their standing, they need to like just kind of come together once more and get back to the level that they were at the start of the season.
Yeah, certainly have fallen off just a bit. So we are headed right into the draft here. Cloud9 is starting off on that A side, already getting that ban off there on the board.
Yeah, look, the Kestrel ban is interesting from Cloud9. They normally ban Glaive or Lance. I think Cloud9 Gankstars will probably ban Lance here and take it away from Gabe, who's very proficient on it. Cloud9 is going to first pick the Koshka or Glaive, and they're going to go with Koshka. Gankstars here is probably going to respond with potentially Lyra, I feel, because they know Lyra, Grumpjaw is good into Koshka. So let's see what they're going to do. Actually, they're going to first pick the Gwen for Iraqi. Nice. And I think the ban here, they're going to ban away a support potentially that really shines with Koshka. So Adagio ban may come out, or they might take the Adagio with the Gwen.
And there's a lot of different thought processes around that sort of decision. But going back through the history logs of this season, Cloud9 does have the advantage over Gankstars in terms of their past performances. They met twice previously. This is their third meeting here in Vainglory8. Cloud9 has a 2-0 series advantage and a 4-1 game advantage over Gankstars. So a lot to overcome for Gankstars, but good news for Cloud9 is they're again looking to take this victory and move to the finals.
Yeah, I knew Grumpjaw was going to come out as a ban there. Like I said, Grumpjaw is good against Koshka, so it's a very smart ban by Cloud9. And Rekt on support Grumpjaw just performed extremely well. So Cloud9 did their homework today. They're going to take the Lyra. Lyra is good as a healer against Koshka, but they're giving Cloud9 potentially Baron Adagio Koshka or Ringo Adagio Koshka, which is an extremely strong composition that they have just executed so well. So I can see Arden, Adagio coming out here with the Koshka. I think Adagio might be the better pick here, but both worked really well. And they're going to round it out with either Baron, I'm assuming, or Ringo here. So I think, or they might try something like maybe even Blackfeather, but I doubt that Old School is going to want to lane Blackfeather. I think they're probably going to go with the Baron, Ringo.
I don't think they're going to go Baron. There's a discussion on Twitter about Baron. It was mostly jokes about Best Chuck saying on his stream that he doesn't like Baron and then having a great performance. And Old School chimed in saying, I can't stand Baron either, so I understand where he's coming from. So it's that's why it is going to be the Ringo instead of the Baron for Cloud9. Old School just doesn't want to play that hero.
Yeah, and I think Adagio is going to come out here, or Arden potentially, or even Kath. Gabe wants to try and play as Kath here, because Kath's actually good into Lyra. So Adagio will be picked here. Alpha looks like it could come out from Gankstars here. They can do CP Glaive, because Glaive is not banned. So it's up to what Zeno is comfortable with, or even Samuel. Like, he might even play Samuel.
Blackfeather, Alpha,
this.
like, they could play almost whatever
Petal,
they want.
Samuel, yep, are all good picks. Petal, Samuel, CP Glaive, and potentially here, Alpha, CP Alpha. So let's see what they decide to do here. Or even if, I don't think he'll pick Scarf into this, actually. He probably won't pick a jungle Scarf, but I think out of those jungles you just mentioned, it's going to be one of those. Yeah. I say he leans towards the Alpha here, or Petal. Alpha or Petal, I think, is probably going to be his picks.
They're going deep into their bonus time on this last selection. Really thinking it over, wanting to make sure they get the right pick.
Anticipation's killing me here. Really cutting it to the wire. There's the Alpha.
There we go.
There it is. Well, the draft is set for Cloud9 versus Gankstars. I mean, initially, what do you guys really think about this? I mean, draft versus draft.
The early game burst damage from Cloud9 is going to be immense, and that can make things really troublesome for an Alpha who's trying to get involved in a fight. She's just going to get blown up immediately. But once we get a little bit later on, the Alpha and the Gwen can start to really kind of turn things up a bit more. So it's going to be very interesting to watch, but expect a lot of early game pressure coming from Cloud9.
Yeah, well, I mean, with that being said, I guess we might as well talk about what you guys are thinking for game number 1 here. It's really important for Cloud9. How are you feeling going into this game? Who's taking?
This game is going to be all about the captains. So Gabe's rotations and Rek's rotations to counter the early jungle invades that Cloud9 wants to do and help Zeno scale up, get his Aftershock, and then be able to then push his power spike with Alpha. Koshka level 6 is a big power spike too, but it's going to be on the captains on how they roam and how they're going to help their power spikes in terms of invading and counter-invading.
So you say it's all coming down to the captains. How are you feeling about it, Bacon?
I never like to go against Rekt on Lyra, but I think the extra motivation that Cloud9 has is going to be enough to kind of propel them over Gankstars in terms of the mental game, and I think this one's going to go to Cloud9.
All right, well, we'll see it. So we're heading into game number 1 here. Cloud9 versus Gankstars. Big match for Cloud9. We'll see if they can take game 1 here. Let's send it on down to Dalsey and Forecourt Jester with the call.
Yeah, and just to emphasize what you were just saying there, Gex, this is really huge for Cloud9. They have the opportunity to overtake Hammers in that second place position. To do so, Forecourt Jester, they have to win this week. And it all starts with Gankstars.
Not going to get any more points if you can't put up any wins. And it's the battle of that second place bye. Very important in terms of the workload going into that first day when we do get to London.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not the easiest of opponents to go through either. Gankstars, they've had a fairly consistent season. Actually, one of the only teams, I think, to actually end up at all final events, if I remember correctly. I had Horned by Ukrainian showing us some statistics of it, and they've never missed a Vainglory seasonal championship, and they're planning on not doing it again. But we do see I Love Joseph invading as he is looking to steal away cams. Xenotech Rector are here as well, and you see Arakizoro coming down. But there's going to be a fight breaking out around this Treant as Xenotech going to get focused on down. Treant is doing work, but Joseph's going to look to try and secure it. It does go the way of Arakizoro. Means Joseph very low. One more auto attack will do the trick. Direct has the missile launch. First blood to Rekt. Cloud9 looking to try and escape, but there's the speed boost, and they're diving in, looking for old school. Xenotech just going to use his passive if necessary as he face tanks all the damage from Gabe Vizzle. Does manage to survive the burn duration from Gabe Vizzle, but he'll get a heal up. Looks like they're just trying to punish this invade still as much, but here comes Joseph. Low cooldowns, and he's going to be charging right on in, looking for a kill of his own. Into the 3 of them, looking for more. Xenotech will go down into his reboot, and he will get popped by Joseph. Gets his revenge, and now can Joseph, this kitty cat, get ferocious? No, he's just going to look to steal more jungle.
A little bit of a difference in energy by the end of all that one, like Gabe and Old School still actually very high on the energy, but Rekt was pumping out the abilities, looking for that catch-up mechanic, and well, this early into the game, Joseph was able to come back, and that's why Xeno did really lose his life. But overall, not the biggest of deals. When it comes back and forth, it's still Cloud9 with more steal, a bigger kill, and now a little bit more of that lane farm going their way as well. So a lot of bloodthirstiness here early on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very bloodthirsty as Joseph's looking to try and take over the early game, try and put as much pressure on Xenotech's alpha. It was a little bit of a back and forth, but actually the net result is that Cloud9 secure more gold from these jungle camps, and they have an advantage as Joseph's going to protect his own. Whole of Cloud9 rotating down. They want this win, you can tell, and Rekt's in trouble. And it's going to be Xenotech diving on in, but he does not have his passive available. Joseph smells, kills. Can he find it? No. He cannot. Rekt going to get away as well. Cloud9 may not find the kills, but what they're continuously doing is taking away these camps in the back here Forecourt, and it is definitely creating a gold deficit. If they get this as well, oh, that's just starving Xenotech. Arakizoro cannot do anything to help on out. On the Halcyon report this week, we had a discussion with B-Rad and Suijay, Forecourt, and we were talking about Hammers and their play style, very early aggressive, what we're seeing Joseph employ here. And you need to rotate your carry down to kind of deal with it, but even as Gankstars are doing so, they're not actually really able to keep their jungle alive for Xenotech. There's a huge gold deficit between Xenotech and Joseph, and an experience deficit growing as well.
Well, 21 last hits to 4. Yeah, you could be saying that Joseph and this aggression is getting well rewarded. Absolutely. Xeno's up in lane just looking for some of that ambient experience, ambient gold, and even throws down the protocol looking for, or the prime directive looking for the jungle, but it's just not there, and now Joseph, like, he just lives out here now.
Yeah, and Old School's actually providing a brick wall that prevents The rotation from Araki, Xenotech gonna go into his passive, Wrecked in trouble as well. Another kill goes over to Cloud9, and they're gonna look for more. Araki Zoro getting aggressed on top of, they're diving this turret, and they're looking for an ace. Erect will put out that bright bulwark and will stop Joseph going for more, but Cloud9's early game macro play is just something else right now, looking to really bring it to Gankstars and finish this one soon.
One overextend there from Gankstars. When they got that kill, they should have just, kind of went back to the jungle, but they thought that they could push it out. The early game advantages that they thought they had just absolutely not there. And Joseph he died, he came back, and he is just really enforcing now. Like, he is here to pick up all the farm. He lives on your side of the jungle. He has a good bit of crystal to his name already, and you're going to be looking for more soon.
More. Yeah, the Sorrow Blade, Power Spike, Joseph looking to get the kills, but the Crystal Sentry's here, and he will provide a bit of, oh, never mind, they're just going to go for this. Looking for the kills, Joseph needs to be careful, but that is Araki going down. Xenotech drops just before his passive regens, and the Crystal Sentry goes down as well. This early game aggression, you can see Cloud9 have been working so hard on their early game. It's something that we criticized them for, Cole, was that they like to play a little bit passively. They like to kind of be sure of their advantages. Right now, they're just taking everything.
And Cloud9 with the item spike on that one really did a big solid for them on there, because they invaded and there was just such a big power difference already. Araki Zoro at the end of that fight picked up a tension bow. 5.5 minutes, finally finding the opportunity to go spend that cash. That's not when you want a tension bow. You want a tension bow as close as you can, 3 to 4 minute mark in that range. That's where you really shine. But 5.5, you're looking at tension bow versus a Sorrow Blade. You're looking at a very built up Joseph versus not the same from Xenotech, and the farm is still in order of 100% right here. Like, Joseph is still over doubling that of Xenotech, and it's really starting to become a huge problem.
Yeah, a huge problem, as you mentioned. Cloud9 quite literally living in the enemy jungle right now as Old School finds damage onto Wrecked and Xenotech. They have to question if there's anything Gankstars can do rather than just turtling to stop this up. The gold lead is enormous right now. It's 4,500 at 6.5 minutes. Old School just going to get all this farm.
It's also level 6s versus level 5s. You see this in some of the other games, but never really quite as clear as it is here. It is actually 3 level 6s versus 3 level 5s. Like, the power difference is outstanding right now for Cloud9.
Yeah, no, incredibly different as they push their lead to 5,000 here. You see that infusions have been purchased up, right?
7 minutes, no problem.
Why not? Why not? Level 7 infusions, because they can continuously taking fights. Wrecked, Xenotech, sorry, has just finished his Aftershock, but that might be enough to kind of create a bit of a power spike if Araki and Xenotech are able to blow someone up between them. Very interesting. Treads, yes,
yeah.
Purchased by Gabe Bizzle. They want to be able to catch someone out of position.
Yeah, the rush down, the starvation, like, it's just rinse repeat aggression, Dowsy. It's just continuous pushing up against Gankstars. You said, what can they do other than turtle? I don't think they have a choice. They have to turtle. They have to just really hide behind these turrets, but that turret just does not stand.
Gabe Bizzle with the minion candy just to make the wave even stronger and force Gankstars to give up more of their turrets. Yeah, it's a huge gold lead now, 6,500 at this 8-minute mark. Cloud9 en route to be hitting 10,000 at 10 minutes, which would be incredible for them and devastating for Gankstars.
Yeah, the 1,000 a minute that you can keep consistently gaining, even up to the 15,000 mark. I've seen 15K. It was a really one-sided game, but 1,000 gold a minute more than your opponent is really an outstanding metric, and not something you might have expected to see here into this last week, because there really is a lot here for Cloud9, but it really does come down to Gankstars again. Just one fight, they over-aggress, and seemingly they've lost everything out, like, just this so early. Like, Araki Zoro is down 40 CS. Xenotech still down 20 CS. We're at 2 item spike already for Old School.
Yeah. Something that does need to be stated, I think, is that I'm not entirely sure how the tiebreakers work between Cloud9 and Hammers. We'll talk about this in seconds. It looks like Joseph wants to fight here. Gangstar's in trouble, but Xenotech's laying down damage. Perhaps they underestimated the turret that is there. Cloud9 just push baiting. So Cloud9, not entirely sure if they win or lose or if they tie the tiebreaker. There is multiple methods, and I think we're going all the way down to our third method to kind of decide who would win a tiebreaker between Hammers and Cloud9 in points alone. So we have to make the assumption that Cloud9 are gunning for a win this week, Forecourt. TSM versus Tempo Storm is our other semi-final, and it is assumed that TSM would be favorites, right? That makes sense. So if Cloud9 can do this to Gankstars, what they're currently doing, I wonder if they can do the same to TSM. That's going to be the true test, is if they're able to kind of win an early game so hard like this, and then take the finals. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. That's kind of discounting Gankstars right now. They are turtling and they aren't giving up as many kills as they have been, but they are also losing out on a ton of neutral objectives.
Yeah, it's not really the kills. It's all about the gold if you look at it back and forth. And it's not quite the 1,000 per minute mark, but the items just continue to roll in. We're at 3 items here for Gabe Vizzo. We're still looking for a little bit more of a completion sake here for Joseph, but 113 last hits from Old School has really put him into a big damage zone.
All right, so I do have confirmation that Hammers do have the tiebreaker in points. All the tiebreaker scenarios go to Hammers, which means that Cloud9 would need to win this week, guaranteed, if they want to overtake Hammers on the standings, gain themselves second place in North America, and grab one of those buy spots in the Unified Live Championships next month, even in May. Next week, I wish. But,
yeah, not quite next week. We got challenge battles next week.
Next week we got challenge battles. We get to see new faces, or maybe old ones. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, see who enters, who takes a break. And, well, Gankstars and Cloud9, neither of them are going to be part of that. But, oh, what a block!
That was a huge block. Coming forward. Have to see if it's good enough, though. As it looks like Cloud9 want to get out of here. Gankstars popping some infusion. Xenotech with the crystal. Looks like Cloud9 are going for the flank. They could pop the wall treads and really get on top of Araki here if they want to go for it. May get spotted. Yep, they have been. I'm almost certain, and the flare goes out to confirm it. Cloud9 will exit out. They are wanting to play this one safe as possible for court, but they will look for a fight now. The wall treads popped. There's the portal through. Gives Araki Zora an escape method, I think.
That's something of a cooldown to blow right there, and I'm not entirely sure that was the direction that he wanted to go.
Man. This is a much slower pace, as Cloud9 are starting to respect the fact that if they fight under a turret and lose the fight Forecourt, that they will give away a lot of their advantages.
Well, 8,000 gold is really hard to make up in one fight, but you are right. Like, once you take control, don't slip up, don't do big, flashy, arrogant plays. Just play it safe, turtle up, and we'll just progress down the line. So Cloud9 progressing through their items. There really is not a big incentive to end the game before 15 minutes. It's not like they get an award or an extra point or anything out of it, but the starvation factor really does make it hard once a Kraken starts coming knocking at the door here for Gankstars, because then you're going to be really bringing forth the power of your items.
Certainly, and I guess this factor for Cloud9 that they have to be wary of is that Alpha definitely has a much better mid to late game than Koshka does. So there is some incentive to finish the game quickly, but we quite frequently see Cloud9 just stall things out. Once they get a really early lead, they take down all the outer turrets, they eliminate the Crystal Sentry, then they look to perhaps wait for the Kraken to spawn and just use that as their method of breaking the base, because it's almost risk-free. The Kraken is guaranteed to take the choke point turret unless something went horrendously wrong.
Yep, that's exactly it. Some people get a little bit more ahead of themselves, and all of a sudden, an advantage, they're too far extended, or they're just kind of stuck around a little bit too long at a certain point, or the Crystal Miner gets involved in a 4v3, and you think 8,000 gold might be enough, but it's not. So, like, none of that's happening here, because Cloud9 have an iron fist on this game. It is their tempo, it is their control. They are pushing up, they are stealing out the jungle, they're farming both sides of the fold here, and Joseph, you know, he's passed 2 items. Consistent infusions has actually forced out a lot of consistent infusions from Gankstars, and that's, I mean, it keeps them a little bit more level in power, but when it comes to building out those items for that final fight, right, just 500 gold at a time really puts you behind after a while.
Ooh, it looks like Gankstars want to fight. They found Best Chuck. Sorry, not Best Chuck. Old School separated from himself, and he's going very low, but they've turned the fight. Araki goes down. Xenotech gonna get stunned up. Gabe Fizzle to faces him as well. Xenotech goes down without a termination protocol, but he will be able to reboot. No! Not he won't! He goes down at the last second. And that's going to be a win for Cloud9. Very close there. Gankstars found Old School isolated and were able to do a lot of damage, but now this turret should fall. Rekt not really able to do much about it.
No, Joseph is absolutely a powerhouse. He should get that last hit eventually. There he goes. That's the shield on top of it right there, Dowsy. Just a little bit too much for the kitty cat to handle unabated, but they're not going to stick around this time. No, Raki Zoro is something of a fearsome beast. He has infused. He has those 2 items. That's a pretty good mid-game strength if this was like the 11-minute mark. Unfortunately, it's closer to the 15, but you saw that we were able to get a kill, and a lot of that was Raki Zoro.
This is... Okay, so you may look at this most recent purchase
Yeah,
that
Gabe
Gabe has put out. Poison Shiv on your captain. Now, this is actually something that one of Cloud9 analysts, I play with her very often, by physics. She's actually very nervous as she's handling most of the drafting and stuff today. This is something that she came up with when we play solo queue. If she thinks that there's a lot of healing on the opposite team, she'll buy a Poison Shiv and try and use it as she feels that the captain can afford one of those items for the Mortal Wounds, especially on a Adagio or Lyra. So I don't know if this is something she's brought to Cloud9 or something that Cloud9 brought to her and then she showed to me. It could go either way, but very interesting. First time I think we've seen this in competitive play.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. But I have to wonder if this was a closer game, if there's only like 2,000 gold between them, would we still see that? Just a little bit of a nagging thought in the back of my head. That being said, Cloud9 is not 2,000 ahead. No, they are actually 12,000 ahead, Dowsy. 12,000 at the 16-minute mark is pretty overwhelming. And with the choke point turret done and a Kraken coming down, infusions aplenty on both sides. But Raki's just ran out.
He has just ran out. He has 500 gold now, and I'm assuming that's going to be a fusion purchased. Yeah, there it is in the back pocket. Kraken now pushing into the base. Cloud9 just waiting for the fight. They're going to come in and look to do their most damage as possible. Araki getting bursted on down, but there's the Aces High landing onto this kitty cat. Araki going to get bursted, and Joseph still alive. That's going to be Rekt falling. That's going to be Xenotech put into his reboot as well. And now we are going to see the Ace. Cloud9 with the Kraken, as we said, going to push into the base forecourt, and they're going to take game 1 very, very convincingly.
Yeah, 10-2 and 13,000 gold by the end. It's just one bad early engage is sometimes irrecoverable, and having that early game mobility, that early game jungle damage of Joseph on this Koshka, it really kind of came together very nicely there for Cloud9. As soon as they found those kills, they were able to motor on back, push right up against Gankstars, and that's when containment just started happening. And the containment was just too much. Like the early game stuff out of Iraqi would have been much better if we had, perhaps somebody that could pair with it, like a glaive with Iraqi or a Taka. Like there's a lot more single target damage I think you can done, because the Xenotech only gets 1 damage item early on, and after his sweep and perhaps his ults, it still takes like so long to come online.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. A very decisive game from Cloud9. But Gankstars, if they want to bring this series back, then they're definitely going to have to change some things up. But I'm sure there's a lot to be said over on the desk, so let's throw it back to them to hear their thoughts.
All right, thank you very much, Dowsy and Forecourt. Wow, there's C9, one more step towards trying to win this week. They do take game 1 off of Gankstars. One of the things that you guys were saying to me while that match was going on quite a bit is that Gankstars was just having a lot of trouble dealing with that Koshka that I Love Joseph was on.
Yeah, and they have lost to Koshka, and Hammers played it pretty decisively, the loss. And I feel like Gankstars at this point need to ban the Koshka away and not give an enemy team a jungler that is much stronger. Because Grumcho is pretty much the only good counter to Koshka in that early phase. I mean, they shut down the early game so hard. Iraqi was trying to rotate, and Cloud9 just rotated so well with Gabe's expert rotations that Iraqi fell behind CS significantly. And when Tenshinbo Gwen does not get fed and rush her power spike, she starts falling off, and you saw that happen. So it was very rough. Gankstars, ban that Koshka and see what happens in this game 2 here.
Yeah, I mean, you had alluded to a little bit. You said something about Grumpjaw maybe trying to counter that Koshka. I mean, what else could you do against that, against the Koshka? Is there anything even outside of hero selection?
Yeah, when Cloud9 picked Koshka, they should have picked the direct counter, Grumpjaw. They should just take Grumpjaw.
Yeah, right away.
Like,
Just-
if they ban Gwen, it's fine. You have other carries. You just
Yep.
need to pick a jungler that completely counters the enemy jungle. He had a chance to counter pick it, and they let it through the draft.
Yeah, and then they certainly got punished for it because that Koshka was huge
Right.
against Gankstars. I mean, going into the second game, we'll be getting into the draft here shortly. What do you want to see change-wise from Gankstars to maybe get themselves back into this game?
I want to see them if they're going to. First of all, they shouldn't allow an early game composition to go through, but if they're going to let an early game composition go through, they need to have an answer for it with an early game composition of their own. Get Xenotech on something that can do damage early, can participate in fights very strong early on. You know, while Alpha, they were able to get the first kill, that was about all that Gankstars were able to get that game because the Alpha does take so long to ramp up when you start off and go heavily into the defense prioritization.
Well, we'll see. The draft is just about to start here. We'll see maybe what Gankstars can do to get themselves back into this game. They're starting off on the A side yet again here, so let's see what they go with.
Please ban Koshka or take it, Gankstars. Ban Grumpjaw, take Koshka, or ban Koshka, and they're going to ban Grumpjaw and potentially take Koshka here. All right, let's
Okay.
do it. So Cloud9 will probably ban Koshka, or they might want to just play into it and take Lance and ban something that is good with Koshka, like Lyra, Adagio, etc. So they have a lot of different strategies that they can approach here. So let's see if Cloud9 is going to take away that Koshka or take away a healer. Let Gankstars pick the Koshka, take the Lance to counter it, and then ban another healer. So Cloud9, what you going to do?
Well, they're thinking long and hard about it, already getting into that bonus time off the first ban. And there you go.
Kestrel. So they choose option C. Go for the Kestrel here. But it is going to be Koshka, picked up first by Gankstars. You got to be happy with this, Suijay.
Yeah, and then Cloud9 is going to take the Lance. I'm pretty sure they're going to take the Lance here. And then they're probably going to ban like Adagio Lyra and not give them a healer with the Koshka, since that makes her very strong in the early game. And they have success when a team picks Koshka and they have Lance. They actually beat the Koshka. They played Lance Petal into Koshka and won. So I think here they'll probably ban Lyra. I think they'd rather face an Adagio than a Lyra because Rex Lyra is better than his Adagio, I feel. So I think from their decision making, they're probably going to ban the Lyra and take it away from Rect.
Yeah, it would be a wise decision, but they're going to focus the Adagio instead. Perhaps they could still pick the Lyra instead, but we'll see where they decide to go. Gankstars now, you want to try and take away as many things that could possibly deal with the Koshka effectively as you can. So Grumpjaw obviously was very important to get out of the way. The Lance is a good pick against Koshka, but we'll see. Do they want to take off?
They might ban Gwen, yeah.
Yep.
Because Gwen can actually skedaddle out of a Koshka ult, so Gwen is a very smart ban here. Cloud9 is now going to probably take Ringo, Vox. I think O2 likes playing Vox into Koshka, so I feel like he'll probably take the Vox. He can even take Baron if he wants, but I don't think he'll take the Baron here. He's probably going to take the Vox because Vox is a little better than Ringo into a Koshka. And then they're going to counter pick the last pick into Gankstars here. So let's see what Cloud9 is going to decide. Yep, the Vox is going to come out. Now, Gankstars has a lot of options. Arden would be probably the best option here, honestly. Finn is also good into Lance, but Arden, you need Arden because Koshka is going to get that barrier, be able to lock down the Vox or the jungler that they pick.
They may still want the Lyra, though.
Oh, yeah, Lyra's open. Right. They probably picked Lyra. Whoops. Yeah, so and then they're going to round it out with probably Ringo here, I feel, because Ringo is good against Vox. He outranges the Vox. Or Iraqi may want to play the Baron, but I think Ringo makes the most sense here. And then Cloud9 is probably going to round it out with Petal or Samuel. Depending on what Joseph wants to play, Petal or Samuel could work for him.
Yeah, with the final pick Gankstars, I mean, I would like to see the Baron, actually. Just because it's just shaking it up a little bit, something they haven't played a whole lot of, and but we'll see if they do decide to go that route. But the Ringo just feels like it would make more sense for Gankstars. It feels like more of a Gankstars type pick, and they're using a lot of their bonus time here, but they are going to go for the Baron.
Yeah, I think
awesome.
he likes the Baron because Baron can actually jump out of a Lance route. Once he maxes his B, it makes him immune to any kind of CCing. So that's a very smart pick. And Iraqi's Baron is really good. I like his Baron. So I think Cloud9 here, given that it's Baron, will most likely pick Samuel instead of Petal here, I believe. Or they can even go for Taka if they want to be a little risky. But Taka is really weak against Koshka early game, and they will take that risk because they want to direct counter the Baron.
Yeah, so all about trying to shut down the Baron. Gankstars, like I said, they've played it a couple of times, have not had great success on it. 0 for 3 with the Baron pick, but I think it might be good enough to get the job done here as long as they can deal with the Taka.
Yeah, plus Lyra's really strong early. Koshka is very strong early, so I think that gives them that early game power spike to let Baron scale up and get online for late game.
Yeah, so Gankstars this time around are going to try and use the Koshka for themselves. How do you feel about their composition going up against Cloud9 here in Game 2?
I like it. I like the Gankstars composition. They have some good early game strengths, and then the late game powerhouse, and then Lyra is kind of like the glue that brings the two of them together and allows that early game strength to then convert into late game power.
All right, quick predictions, real quick. You still feeling?
Yeah, I think Cloud9 is going to execute because Joseph, I'm betting on Joseph here in jungle with Taka. He's going to make some plays, especially when he gets a level 6 power spike. Gankstars did phenomenal with their ban draft, though. They banned really strategically, but I'm going to give this to Cloud9.
As much as I like the Gankstars draft, I think Cloud9 has it.
All right, let's check it out. Game number 2 on the way. Dalzian forecourt, take it away.
Very interesting matchup we have here for core early versus late game, and which team can execute to their win conditions.
Having Xenotech on top of this Koshka, I know that there's a little bit more anything you can do, I can do better, or monkey see, monkey do, but Koshka Baron combo, not convinced on it yet. It's Cloud9 looking for some love here with Xeno.
In a bit of trouble as Cloud9 trying to put all the pressure onto Xenotech. Hasn't played many Koshka throughout the VG8 split, and Cloud9 obviously understand the power of Koshka after abusing it in their previous games. So I guess this rotation for Cloud9 is very much, let's try and put the pressure onto Xenotech. He's been the most reliable player, I feel, for Gankstars throughout the entire split. Almost very consistent in his play style, and Cloud9 obviously looking to try and put as much pressure on top of him.
Well, there's definitely a lot to be said about like the previous performance here at Cloud9. Coming in, feeling good, looking to get into finals here of the last week. And they've already stolen out some jungle away. They've come back, clean up their own, and Old School now into lane. Iraqi and Erect, though, did go and steal out some backs. So the gold difference really not going to be heavily in favor of either side. Actually, Gankstars getting slightly better of the trade, but just a lot of early game rotations, but no clashing. Like this round, Cloud9 Gankstars very much just kind of gunning for the objectives rather than the kills. It was the kills that really put Cloud9 in the lead last round.
Yeah, especially pushing Gankstars even further into a deficit, which was unable to steal away so much gold from the jungle, basically. We've got Joseph here on his Taka. Very well known for this Taka pick. You know, Joseph is Taka and the Taka is with him. Also, Iraqi Zoro on this Baron. Tasty obviously gave us some statistics on his win rate with it, but it's definitely a comfort pick for Iraqi. I've seen him play it multiple times, even in games that Gankstars lost. It's clearly something that Iraqi feels very happy playing.
It's just conflicting kind of emotion, I feel, at this point. Like Xenotech early on with the Koshka, that we just saw really good early game dominance. It's not where Iraqi is going to shine, but that late game could actually be, again, split, right? Koshka typically does fall off into the late game where Iraqi is going to get stronger and stronger. So if they can combine the best of both, where Xenotech kind of takes charge early and they lead into Iraqi just kind of cleaning up, that'd be great. But I'm not convinced that Cloud9's comp is going to allow them to do that.
Well, we'll have to find out, as currently do see a bit of pressure thrown back and forth. Gankson coming out from Gankstars and Old School fairly comfortable inside of them, whereas same happens on the flip end and Iraqi gets away unscathed. There's everyone going back, purchasing up some items. Joseph here with that banner, and Gankstars all rotating down to secure this Elder Treant. It despawns in just 20 seconds, so they want to get it off the map into their bellies. Will get stolen though. No, it's going the way of Xenotech. He's going to start getting the healing. He can look to engage as Araki gets aggressed on top of Cloud9 and committing to this, but it's going to be first blood going to Xenotech. They trade back, but Xenotech will fall in the end. Cloud9 impale lands, and that's wrecked, trying to boots away, trying to get out of this range of the Vox. And looks like he may just be able to do that. A 2-for-1 in favor of Cloud9.
And kills is what got them ahead, but this time it doesn't really feel like it's going to be a big deal. Like Cloud9, yeah, they get the kills. They might even still get wrecked. Nope, not even. But with the Trance just going their way, there's no deep invade. There's no cutting off of Gankstars at the source this round. So Cloud9 very happy to take the gold, but it's not like a big play that is going to put them ahead by a huge amount.
No, it's not put them ahead at all. It's 1,000 gold still in the favor of Gankstars as they get that first blood bounty forecourt, and it kind of equalizes the fight as far as gold was concerned, keeps things at this status quo that we had. Aftershock going to be completed now for Xenotech. Very crucial time point. Old School does not have a reflex block, and Xenotech is very close to hitting level 6 very shortly. Does actually take a lot of damage in his attempted gank. Cloud9 all there. Make sure it doesn't happen, but I assume that we're going to see a reflex block come out of Old School very shortly, as you kind of have to respect that Yummy Captain Frenzy.
Yeah, level 6 coming online would be a really big tool for Xeno here as well. Don't think he's going to find Gabe. Nope, goes over the wall. Joseph is here, Crystal Sentry here. Like, Gangstar is not willing to really put themselves into a 4v3 situation, as they shouldn't, but level 6 is a good timing window for both sides, but Xenotech and that stun, especially if there are no reflexes, like that is a window that we absolutely have to use here for Gankstars.
And not only that, it's going to push Old School. If he goes for the reflex, he won't be able to finish his Sorrow Blade at the same time. He has enough gold to finish it now. Something tells me that Old School is going to prioritize the damage over safety. And he does. Sorrow Blade comes out, which means that Xenotech in just a couple seconds will have that Yummy Captive Frenzy available. And it is going to be interesting to see if that's enough for Gankstars to find a kill win a fight.
The follow-up has to be really there. Like, when Xeno commits, Raki's got to be there with him. Just doesn't look like they're going to find it for now. I was really curious to see if they're going to jump it there, Dowsy. But Araki, again, like early game, you pair somebody with Xeno and you pair somebody with this Koshka. Baron would not have been my first choice.
Kind of makes sense, you know, as mentioned, the Koshka for the early, the Baron for the late game just put so much pressure early, which means that Gankstars can kind of dictate the pacing and allow them, but it's going to be a fight breaking out, as that's going to be Araki aggressed on top of. They can't quite find the Impale, and that's going to be Yummy Captain Frenzy landing. They're going in, but Xenotech's taking a lot of damage. Old School as well, but they can't quite get the damage to find the kill, and Fountains will keep everyone alive. Xenotech now looking to get that healing camp, and it will go his way. Cloud9 will not look to chase.
Yeah, level 6 is popping on a few different people right there, but Araki did not have the Ion Cannon. Old School in the silence, like right down that narrow corridor, and it's something of a saving grace for these guys, because no kill, nothing really happens. Xenotech, unfortunately, a lot of that window is starting to close where those reflexes are not going to be in town. Old School has picked his up. Might not see one from Joseph for a little bit, but Gabe Vizzle, you're not going to be stunning out Gabe Vizzle, so he doesn't need one for a while.
Right, you know, it's that one window of opportunity where Old School did not have a reflex block was used, but not to find any kill or advantage. Xenotech, 13 seconds on his ultimate. Everyone's in lane, and that's going to be junglers jumping onto the carries. Old School in trouble. Joseph taking a lot of damage. He's going to fall very low. Fountain will keep him alive, though. Gankstars looking to put so much pressure onto Cloud9. It doesn't feel like Cloud9 are quite able to deal with it just now. Gankstars are going to disengage the fight, still some jungle away. This is a completely different game out of Gankstars.
It's also just a big show of like not falling behind really does kind of give you a sense of what Gankstars can do, like, when they don't have that one kill put them behind.
Ooh, no, going to be stolen. Cloud9 attempted, but didn't succeed. Gold payout does go over to Gankstars, pushing their advantage to 2,000 now, forecourt.
Yeah, it's a real good pace for these guys. It's not an overwhelming victory yet, but Xenotech early on looks like he's been able to supply more of that front line here with Rekt, get that locked in, get that little bit of damage, and not maybe a ton of kills, but the Baron is definitely not lagging behind, and that's a real big boon here to Gankstars, because as time goes on, he's just going to get stronger and stronger. He's got first item. He's looking for second. There it is. 8 minutes, second item Baron. That's pretty on par with a lot of the timings we've seen before. So this is just getting better and better for Gankstars as Iraqi continues to get more towards that final form.
The final form is when things start to really swing. Old School trying to keep up pace on this Vox. We'll have a fantastic late game forecourt. The range differences between the Baron and the Vox is just so huge. Old School having to prioritize armor early, and will most likely have to continue that trend as well, as the range and the crits that Araki will be putting out towards the late game are huge. He's actually isolated in lane here, and everyone's here from Gankstars. They're going to look to try and push down this turret. Gabe Vizzle flies in, lands the Impale onto Araki. We'll push Gankstars away for now. Here comes Joseph, all stealthed up. We'll be on a scout trap. So Gankstars know of Cloud9's presence, and they know where everyone is. Doesn't look like a fight is going to break out though.
All right, Joseph, Aftershock, there we go. So he has his 2-item spike. Xenotech didn't go for a crown with this Koshka. It's a little bit more kill-oriented, a little bit more fight-oriented. It went into that Aftershock, looking for now a broken myth. And I would assume at this point that Xeno, if he can combine that item spike with what Iraqi has now built up, go for that Atlas like third item from here. But if Xeno can get second item and can dance around, start building up those stacks, we could really find a sweet spot, 30 seconds into a fight where Iraqi and Xenotech can just blow people up.
And a broken myth now purchased for Xenotech, so if he can kind of do the hokey pokey, go in and out and stack up that broken myth, then the damage is going to be crazy. He's actually found Old School isolated, and Old School's in trouble. Fountain comes out, but they're looking to turn it. Impale onto Xenotech, and that is the kill going Cloud9's way. Old School gets out, but Rex looking for the return, and he will find it. It's currently Iraqi trying to deal with this damage. Giffian War, Impale, and it's going to be Iraqi in so much trouble. He falls, and now it's only Rex left alive. No portal available, and he's just going to go very low here. It's even the gold miner getting involved as he starts wailing away, but onto Gabe Vizzle, not onto Rex. Oh, Bright Bulwark will stop it up. Rex looking to make the grand escape, but can he do so is the question. It doesn't look likely, as Old School, and sorry, Gabe Vizzle and Joseph not finding the kill. Okay.
Wreck the god, man.
Wreck the god, man. He did it. He made the great escape and got alive.
I gotta put an asterisk beside that though, because actually during the fight, I think he did. I think he panicked. I think he hit too many buttons at the wrong moment.
Okay.
I don't know what Xenotech was looking for. Okay.
Looking for a low health Tucker and Lance. I guess just perhaps not expecting Old School to be grouped up with him.
Yeah, that was rather unfortunate there from Xenotech, but just gets destroyed a little bit quick. In that fight though, it was all about Xenotech. He found the engage. He tried to bring down Old School, and Rekt used the portal going forward to get the return kill, and he did.
Ooh. Okay, that was
So
close.
Yeah.
But Gabe Vizzle uses the Giffian Wall to knock it out of the sigil, which means that no sigil was available.
So that left Rekt a little bit out of position to support Iraqi, who found himself in that 2v1 at that point. And then as Rekt came back, he threw down the heal and went back through his portal all the way to the other side of the fight. He had to use the boots to kind of close the distance, but just so much time away from the carry at that point did not do Iraqi any favors. Now, he did do the great escape, so God mode activated at the end, but I feel like he overextended, or he panicked, or he just didn't realize that he was going to take that second trip through his own passage.
Yeah, no, perhaps. And isolating the carries there kind of was a big deal. The Koshka going down so quickly. It's now starting to itemize down the defense tree, armor and some health, to try and deal with the output that Cloud9 can put. But Cloud9 were a little bit more coordinated in that previous fight. That's why they won it. That's going to be an infusion going straight on out. There's the silence, but doesn't connect. Impale doesn't either. There's the Yummy Company Frenzy going straight on down to Joseph. They're trying to turn the fight here, Cloud9, and they're looking for Koshka. Can they get the kill into Xenotech? Impale, auto attack, there it is. It goes over to Joseph as he's extremely low, and a missile will find the kill. Araki dives in, blows up one, looking for the second, but Gabe Vizzle will get out, and this time the 2-for-1 goes in favor of Gankstars.
Gabe not looking for the inbound. Might even
Oh,
go down.
Gabe, this is... Rekt has the kill. Like, Araki dives forward
secured.
because he wants it, but the kill was secured very much, and an ace buff as well. This turret is gonna go down. Question is if Gankstars can escape afterwards. Joseph will look for the revenge, but I don't think it's wise. He does fall back, and a gold lead starting to grow now for Gankstars at this 14-minute mark.
All right, so they have maintained pretty much like on par or better gold than Cloud9. Definitely a big 180 turnaround to the game that we did just finish out in pretty spectacular fashion. But 4,000 gold, pretty good. Xenotech is going to be looking for defensives now. He's just too much of a glass cannon, but he is getting enough work done to help Arakizora finish things off. Like, Arakizora, again, gets stronger and stronger with this Baron, but Xenotech was up to 5 broken myth stacks. Got off the last hit, went down to Rocky.
Another fight breaking out, and Xenotech's going very low, but can he get the kill is the question. He goes down there straight away, but now they have to focus on to Arakizora. He's trying his best to get out, but he will fall down, and Cloud9 going to use the portal to try and chase Rekt down. This Lyra very able to escape, and she will be able to get under a turret alive, but Cloud9, 2 quick kills go their way. Now they're going to look for an objective.
All right, so Xeno has gotten into the Atlas. We're going to be looking for an Aegis after this on top of things. Not entirely too sure if Rekt is ever going to die this game.
Doesn't seem like it. Lyra deceptively tanky, right?
Yeah, absolutely. She has her own Atlas on top of the Crucible. Contraption for that cooldown reduction now on top of that as well. And just heals for days, the Bright Bulwark to stop you up. But Xenotech has, unfortunately, not really had a stellar game. 1 in 5. But the damage that he's able to output with the broken myth stacks, again, like 10, 20 seconds, 30 seconds into a game, right? He just gets starting to hit harder and harder and harder. So as long as Cloud9 just take him down, all they have to do is with Araki. But the challenge for Gankstars is that enough damage for a 2-item Araki to finish it up? Now he's 3-item, and Xenotech has finished into a tier 3 armor. So this could start swinging their way again.
Well, we are going to see another fight
Or
break
not.
out as they've caught Xenotech down. Looks like Cloud9 want this, but the damage is there and they're keeping Xenotech alive. Oh gosh, Old School's in trouble, and the bombs from Araki will find the kill. Looking for more damage as Cloud9 split, but Gabe Fizzle getting a little bit dizzy with these portals going back and forth. They're going to try and turn it back onto Arakizora, Joseph, and Gabe Fizzle. Dream Team, can they do it is the question. It is going to be Rekt just tanking damage up as Araki looks to fall back, but Joseph wants this kill. Iron Cannon straight in on the fight. Joseph gets blasted, and he doesn't get taken down, though. Gabe Fizzle able to find the kill onto Araki, and now Rekt once more, last man standing. It's like, where's my team? They're always gone. I want my team back, says Rekt. Having a perfect game for himself, but not able to, unfortunately, keep his 2 carries alive.
3-0 and 3. Just massive engage on top of Xenotech. I didn't really think that he was going to survive as long as he did. But again, like, he was able to beat the soak. He was in that front line, and they were able to get enough damage to bring down Old School. But unfortunately, it's just not enough in the bank to deal with Joseph and Gabe Fizzle. Much better portal play, I think, from Rekt that time. Didn't really misstep. Used it very well, kind of. Not sure if Gabe Fizzle meant to take the ride as often as he did, but he did. So the portal play, I think, that really did do well for Gankstars that time. And 4th offensive item now going to be coming down the line here for Araki. That's as tanky, or well, yeah, it's as tanky as he's going to get, but it's also as powerful as he's going to get here in the next few moments.
A very interesting build coming out of Araki, as you mentioned. Bonesaw picked up, not crit. Usually we see crit built up on the Baron, and something that allows the Baron to do such late game damage. It's definitely unconventional going down the Bonesaw, but we have seen it before. Bonesaw, great if you can focus one target down with heavy armor. Tier 2 armor at level 12 is when Bonesaw becomes effective. But you look around, it's armor on Joseph, he has tier 3. Gabe has tier 3 as well. Lance, also very tanky. Ion Cannon just to clear the wave out.
2 minions with no health.
Why not?
That was the way.
You only live once, forecourt.
Well, as the minions found out. Yeah. Oh, okay. Not sure that was intentional. I'm really not. But it's out of the bag. People, they heard it, they saw it. It's out there. So when it comes down, like, the Iron Cannon's a really good counter for Rekt. So he just puts it on himself. People scatter. Doesn't have it now.
Here we go. Another fight coming out, and Xeno taking a lot of damage. Old School in the middle of it. Portal goes down by Rekt. Atlas slows the attack speed, but can they find any more is the question. Cloud9, they want this fight. Diving onto Araki, Bright Bulwark means that there can't be any follow-up, and Joseph, Old School, take lots of damage in the process. Gankstars, look like they want to turn this one. Look for some re-engages of their own, but Joseph going to go straight on in. That's going to be Araki diving back. Old School going very low. He gets blown up, and that's going to be now the fight going very favorably Gankstars' way. Joseph locked down, a double for Araki Zoro. The Kraken ready to go. Gankstars going to look to secure the beast.
Raki didn't panic at that one. He had attack all over him, but he focused down Old School. He knew that Rekt had a sigil there in his back pocket, threw it out. The burst had already been coming through there from Taka, so Raki not really in danger of dropping. Then they were able to finally turn their attention on top of the Taka. So nice calm play, nice, real good targeting coming out of Gankstars. They didn't panic on this one. I really did feel that they were very much more in control than some of these previous fights with that. And Xenotech, yep, he came down low. A lot fell on top of him. He has those double defenses online, but he was also able to get a Treant in the middle of that. Rekt had the sigil, we had the fountain, then a Treant. He came back into fighting form, and now with a Kraken as their reward. This is actually a real danger for Cloud9.
Absolutely is. Gankstars looking primed and ready to break into the base of Cloud9 and equalize this series. They have 3 turrets and a Vein Crystal in between them. An ace onto Cloud9 could just mean the end of it all. Araki Zoro almost at that late game damage build as Cloud9 trying their best to whittle away, and this Kraken may even look for an engage, but this choke point turret has fallen. There it is, Impale on to Rekt, but he's not the prime target. Really wanting to look down either Xenotech or Araki. Looks like they're going to go in. Choke point means everyone gets silenced, but Cloud9 not able to follow up now. Damage just flying out from Araki Zoro here. This Kraken, half HP, Iron Cannon straight onto Cloud9. Going to do a lot of burst damage. Cloud9 looking to take this Kraken down. Gankstars looking to escape, and the Bright Bulwark timed perfectly by Rekt prevents both Gabe Vizzle and Joseph engaging. Kraken gets 2 turrets, and Gankstars get out with their lives.
Okay, so down to 1 turret. It's not game over. We've seen comebacks, especially yesterday in Europe. But Cloud9 still have something of a chance in this game. The chance has to really be back-to-back team wins, though, because if there's another Kraken, another ace on top of Cloud9, there's really not enough to keep them from Gankstars winning the game right there. But if Gankstars do start dropping more of these team fights, they have 5 turrets still standing at this point. Like, the infrastructure difference between the 2 teams, Dowsy, is outstanding. So Cloud9, this is where they got to put, money where their mouth is. If they lose out one more bad engage, it's pretty much over.
Kind of surprised that we're seeing Old School go into armor, considering that the Bone Saw is there. But perhaps
he sold that
just
armor.
wants...
He bought it back?
He bought it back, yep. Bought it back. He's going to go into tier 3 armor, Metal Jacket most likely.
Very likely, yeah. Sometimes
you see weapon-powered carries, when they see a Bone Saw, go into a 4th damage item and just negate armor completely, try and make the Bone Saw less effective. But in this scenario, we're not going to see that from Old School.
Okay. Fourth item, though, from Araki is ready to go. So, again, like, his power, he's full item. Like, it's just boots and infusions from him. And, well, Joseph.
Looking for a fight here. Gonna go look for the engage. Great silence. That's a good Giffion's Wall. Can they take down Araki? Yes, they can. Huge combos coming out of Cloud9, and they're gonna look up Rekt as well. A double for Old School and his Vox. Shutdown gold going to Cloud9. What can they get for it? The Kraken just spawns as well. What great timing. Cloud9 gonna look to start this one up.
Portal play, man. That portal play did not do them any favors that round. Rekt finally does actually bite the dust on that one, but it's Xenotech to survive. But the portals, I'm not entirely too sure what went through Rekt's head on that one, but maybe he thought like they could dodge the silence part of the wait for it, but the portal just wasn't far enough, and it just kind of delivered a Rakitoro right into the midst of Cloud9. So they're very happy to take that fight right there. They take their own Kraken. They did take a turret during my little monologue there as well. So again, it's not like it's over for Cloud9. They just can't lose a fight.
Yeah, no, that they have to close this one out with this Kraken almost, it would seem, for Core. We'll have to see what they can do as this first turret going down very quickly. Fighting those tight corridors is exactly what Gabe Vizzle wants. He was able to land a huge Giffian War Impale combo. And then the wait for it obviously just put Gankstars in a terrible position. Old School takes a lot of burst damage, and Gankstars going to want to try and start up the fight. Wall Treads popped, and Cloud9 looking to disengage. Xenotech looking for a way into it, and Gabe Bizzle may be left to death. They're going to have to try and turn this. That's the Impale landing on Araki. Old School trying his best to get away, and it looks like they may be able to turn this. Great Silence comes out, but Joseph in trouble. Does some backflips, looks for some more damage, and Xenotech may just have this kill. No! Giphy and Wall keeps him alive, but Old School's down. Araki going to start chasing forward. Jump jets, and that's a double auto attack, and go. That's Joseph falling as well. Gabe Bizzle, last man alive, just trying to buy time as the Kraken is working its way at the first Vein Crystal turret, about a quarter way down. Here he goes, just dipping and diving, but he will get slowed by that snare. Gabe just trying to escape Araki, and actually he's buying a lot of time for this Kraken. That turret is going to fall eventually. Question is whether or not when, and whether or not Gankstars decide that this is not worth it. Portal goes out. Araki doesn't want to follow up. He's struggling, but there's the jump jets once more. Gabe Bizzle leading them on a fool's errand. The turrets are still falling to this Kraken, and Gabe is almost back towards his base. Another jump forward by this Baron, but Gabe lives. The Kraken will fall. Xenotech is on it. Actually, one more auto attack will go out. Oh, it's not enough damage. The turret is sitting on just a sliver of HP, and Gabe Bizzle led Gankstars around the circle and back again.
So, lots to say about that one, Dowsy. Great job, Gabe. No ace. You kept them going.
Woo!
I
Gabe Bizzle.
I don't think he was going to let them go home anyways, to be honest. But even if you had to give up the ace, because the ace wouldn't have bought much for Gankstars on that one. But that being said, like, great job to him, because we cleared out 3 turrets, nearly that 4th one, just from the default push out of that Kraken. So fantastic stuff at a Cloud9. But now Gankstars, all they gotta do is win one more fight, and it is coming down to that last margin of error, because everybody's on their last legs here.
Well, Joseph going to look for the engage straight on in, and he does get up on top of it. The silence goes out, but Joseph's taking a lot of damage in return. Cloud9, do they want this fight? Rex certainly looking for a portal Atlas, and there he goes. Oh, the Yummy Company connects. That's going to be Old School blown up. He's out of this, and now Cloud9 have to split. Joseph going to be charging into the base, trying to play distraction. This turret will go down very quickly with his Storm Crown. He's going to try and lead this Baron around the circle. Turret goes down. Can he take the base as well? Araki needs to kill him, but it's going to be Joseph looking for the 1v1. No, he's looking for this Vein Crystal. Couple of auto attacks go out. Joseph needs to escape. Currently, Xenotech just looking to take the base. Flare goes out. This should be Joseph falling. He cannot make the hero play. The ace comes down, and the death timers will be too long. Gankstars to finish the game.
Yeah, ace buff minions, that's what Xenotech is looking for. He can't do what Taka just did, but with ace buff minions here, he absolutely can. And as you said, the death timer is just too much. I love the hero play out of Joseph, but this is 100% going to be the Gankstars game. And Dowsy, that means game 3.
Game 3 indeed. Gankstars not ready to say die in this series. Will take one back. The Baron getting towards the late game. I think a couple of things to discuss in the Gankstars camp forecourt. Some rotational decisions perhaps that they could work on heading into game 3, but they've brought themselves to this equalizing scenario now. A chance for them to make it into the finals and shut down Cloud9's chances of stealing away that second place bye.
So despite 7 deaths on Koshka, you know, Xenotech, I really do feel like this was a much better game overall from Gankstars. I mean, they did get the win after all, but the early game was much more steady for these guys, but Xenotech as well, but he really did play out his role. He might not be the star highlight of this one. That's really is going to go over to Rakizoro and Wrecked, simply because they just lived longer and longer and longer. But Xenotech, even with 7 deaths, he did enough damage, he soaked enough skill shots that Rakizoro and Wrecked by the end of it were able to clean up majority of the time. And I'm going to give him, big respect for that one, because that's not a role that a lot of people like to play.
Well, we are going to throw it back to the desk forecourt to further break down that game. So back over to you, Gex.
Wow, Gankstars responding right away with a game win of their own there, and we're all tied up at 1. I mean, one of the big things that we were talking about here while the game was going on was the Koshka play and how C9 responded to Koshka.
Yeah, Cloud9 did such a good job focusing Xeno and getting him low, killing him in a lot of early fights. And they're so decisive. Like, Kasha wants to engage, and they just engage twice as hard back. So they're able to slow down and not let Koshka snowball them completely. And you can see, like, how Cloud9 is playing, and their laser focus is so good. But Xeno also has a lot of good plays on Koshka, like landing that stun, but he gets killed here as well. You can see the focus on Cloud9 is just so good. Gabe with his roots and Githian walls. And then late game, Baron just got online with 4 items at the 22 mark. I love the Bonesaw pick. Gives 8% pierce and 5% shred armor every stack, up to 40% armor shred. That's really, really smart of Iraqi to build that, especially when Old School got the metal jacket really late into the game.
Yeah, and while even the caster said, you know, Iraqi and Rekt were like the 2 main stories, it was also so much about Xenotech on that Koshka. We just saw all those clips of Koshka just getting blown up early in the fights, taking out the focus from Cloud9, but eventually Xenotech got to this point where he was a lot tankier. He was able to survive throughout the fights, and that was really the turning point as they're able to then, you know, have the Koshka last long enough.
Right.
They're still trying to focus the Koshka, as we're going to see in this replay coming up, that they have all of the damage going onto Koshka right away once more, but just not quite able to secure the kill. The fight ends up extending for quite some time, and the Fountain comes out. The big turning point of this fight, though, is watch this Bulwark. Right when you think Cloud9, okay, they can go in and engage, Bulwark stops it. They have to back off and respect that. Xenotech still alive, gets the Treant, gets the healing from Rekt, and then they're able to re-engage, and this is completely where the game turned back around in favor of Gankstars.
Yeah, and that was such a critical point because Gankstars was down Fountain, and Cloud9 had a Fountain. So that Bulwark by Rekt, it literally saved and prevented that dive onto the Baron, and that was such a good heal as well. Able to heal up with the Lyra, and if you can't get a kill against a Lyra comp and you let the Lyra heal you up the carries, it's going to be a tough one. One other thing I want to point out is Baron does 130% basic damage, so he's like a Kestrel Glimmer Shot, right? On top of it, it's like a CP Kestrel Glimmer Shot. It does splash damage. So if you're shredding armor, you're hitting 2 people, you're shredding both their armor, and you're landing these constant attacks, you're not only getting more weapon power passed through with Bonesaw, you're going to stack a lot faster too. So really good job by Gankstars there.
Well, we are into the draft. Game number 3 it is. All tied up at 1. And this is a really important match for Cloud9 already. They will get a ban out there. Gankstars looking to respond.
I love the Koshka ban. This is them adapting their strategy and doing a very good draft. Cloud9 is going to go for the Lyra, the Adagio over the Lyra, which is interesting. So this is going to give Rekt either Lance or Lyra, but I think he'll probably opt for the Lyra since he has preferring it, even though he's great on both these heroes. And then Gankstars is going to try to secure the Gwen. So they might actually first pick Gwen, and then they're either happy with Lyra or Lance, honestly. So, they're going to instead do the support first. And Cloud9 is going to ban the Gwen, and I think Gankstars may potentially ban Grumpjaw here. Hopefully they do, because Grumpjaw Adagio is such a strong combination. So they might ban a weapon carrier or something.
Or do they leave Grumpjaw open and try and pick it up themselves?
That could work too.
Because again, we've seen the Grumpjaw Lyra combo. You eat someone up with the stuffed, and then drop them out inside of a bright bulwark.
Yeah.
They can't go anywhere.
Or
so
go through the portal, right?
Yeah, the combo does work really, really well. So I would, but Grumpjaw's going to get banned by Cloud9 instead. So there's that taken care of.
So Gankstars will probably opt for Gwen here. I think it makes the most sense for them to take that Gwen away and not give it to Old School, and then counterpick a jungler into what Cloud9 is going to pick. So Gwen or Baron, it decides what he wants to play, but I think Gwen is probably their best option here, unless Iraqi is feeling the Baron train still. So let's see what he decides.
I think if they were to go the Baron, it would probably be the last pick, because if you pick Baron this early in the draft, there's so many options that Cloud9 could have used to counter it, but it's going to be the Gwen instead. And, I mean, right now, Gankstars, they have the potential to then get the Samuel as the last pick and have that super strong meta composition for patch 2.3. As in case you were unaware, somehow, if you haven't been watching the rest of this weekend, I guess you may not know, but we are playing on patch 2.3 for this final week of the regular season in Vainglory8.
Yeah, so Cloud9 actually may take the Samuel here and then go with Baron or Ringo or Vox. Those are the 3 out, but I think against a Gwen, they will probably opt for Vox on School, since I think School prefers the Vox.
Do you think that they might have the Adagio be in the lane?
Maybe, but I think Old School wants a weapon carry. He's really good on Adagio, though, but I think he prefers to be on a weapon carry against this Gwen here. Adagio makes more sense against Gwen because he's also pretty tanky. He's a captain, and he does a lot of burst damage on top of that. So it makes more sense to carry the Adagio and then go with like Flicker or Arden, and then pick someone that is really good at engaging, so Adagio can get that burn on them. So it looks like they're gonna go with the carry Adagio. So nice call out Bacon. Lance on Gabe is great.
Anytime you have Old School on a team, you have to keep in mind the idea of the carry Adagio, because Old School is just so good with that hero. Of course, it could be a jungle Lance, and we could still see the Captain Adagio come out. It's going to be up to this last pick. They only have 10 seconds left, though. They have really put a lot of thought into it. It's going to be Fortress.
Wow.
Okay, so now that's all sorts of questions. All three of these heroes can flex really well, and we don't really know who's going to be
is
playing
it going
what.
to be a Weapon Lance, or is it going to be a CP Fortress?
I would assume Weapon Lance.
Yeah, I think Weapon Lance would make more sense.
Because
but
with the Adagio as well, it's like...
Right. And I think here, Gankstars have to pick Petal or Samuel. They're two, or Scarf. They may pick Scarf, Petal, or Samuel. I think Xeno may lean towards a Scarf here, but Petal is really good too against Fortress and Lance. So let's see what they're going to decide here, because all three of those heroes are good into this composition. But I have a feeling they might pick Scarf. I have a feeling Xeno is going to be itching his finger towards a Scarf, because Scarf is really good against Fortress and has a really good sustain once he gets that Broken Myth Eve combination. Oh, Sky instead. Wow.
How do you feel about that?
A little risky. A Weapon Lance is going to destroy a Sky. He has a 560 base damage on a maxed root, plus 140% weapon ratio. So a double Sword Blade Lance is going to chunk more than half the health of that Sky away.
Let that be a lesson to you. It is still possible to surprise Suijay in a draft.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen too often, but it is still possible. So, I mean, with those drafts in mind, going into Game 3, how we've seen these teams play so far, how are we feeling about Cloud9's chances of getting in and going to the finals, really?
It's tough to say. Like, both of these drafts are very unconventional. So there isn't really a lot of established history with these particular compositions and how they might work against each other. I think the Gwen Lyra is going to be very, very strong and can do a lot of work, especially against the Fortress. I'm trying to take a peek over and see where heroes might be going, and yeah, it is going to be a jungle Fortress.
Well, Suijay, how are you feeling
Based
about
on CP Fortress, I think Cloud9 has a tougher chance here, so Gankstars will probably win.
it? All right, well, we'll see. This is a huge match for Cloud9. They need to take this. They need to win the week if they want to get into that second spot and get a bye during the first week, or for the first day of the Unified Live Championship. So we'll see if they can finish it off here against Gankstars. We send it on over to Dalsey and Forecourt Jester, who have the call.
What a very interesting group of compositions here for Core. We might have to talk about them in a bit, because it looks like Cloud9 wants some early aggression, and Xenotech will be forced back. Joseph taking a bit of damage. Rekt just going to face tank everything. Looks like Cloud9 may be forced back here. Waiting for cooldowns. Joseph will dive forward. Yep, Impale's going to land once more onto Xenotech, focusing him hard. The Cloud9 have taken lots of damage, and Old School may just go down for first blood here. The missile comes through. One more auto attack. Old School will be falling. Araki just needs to get in range. Buckshot to come through. No, it's Skedaddle, and first blood will go Araki Zora's way.
Oh man, just edgy of seat on that one, but it's Joseph going to be coming down low. It's actually Old School dead.
Rekt!
And Rekt is the god.
Steals away that camp. Yeah, this is crazy good start for Gankstars here as Gabe Vizor attempts to secure some of the camps. Secures one. A very strange composition from Cloud9 is what I wanted to talk about for Court. Old School in lane with this Adagio, and Joseph in the jungle with Fortress. Two heroes that we are very familiar with for Court in the VG8, and usually going down CP build. So it raises the question, are Cloud9 here going to go double CP in this matchup? A super important matchup against Gankstars, as they need to get into the finals and win it. They want to steal away second place from Hammers and secure that bye, or are they going to play something else? Well, they are going to get a kill back, as I kind of tunnel a little bit too hard here. Does go over to Gabe Vizzle. I guess the other thing is that Old School could be going a weapon power Adagio.
There is both options, right? Weapon powered Adagio, weapon powered Fortress. They don't exactly kind of hit meta, as Rekt is just going to be running for his life. But double CP is sort of what you would expect on this one. So it's double CP, that's going to be a lot of burst out of Joseph and quite a bit of more steady damage out of Old School. But they also got to end fights fast, especially later into the game, because there's going to be so much shield built up against them.
Well, they have looked to catch Xenotech here, but the forward barrage doing work. Joseph wants to lead the charge. He's going very low, and Araki wants the kill. He's going for it, but he won't be able to find it. Old School, all this time separated, may look for some more damage. Look to try and push Gankstars away from this Elder Treant. Very scrappy early game from both these teams. Cloud9 looking to commit to this Treant. They will hand over towards Gankstars' side of this middle of the map. Will the steal come through? There it is, coming in, and it goes the way of Gankstars onto Xenotech, and now it is going to be Gankstars looking to chase forward and punish this. Giffian Wall knocks them all back. Old School in trouble. Forward barrage going to connect. But he gets away for now. Araki has no energy, so I don't think he can get the kill in return, but Rekt's going to time it up, and Rekt's going to find the kill from downtown. Once more has been hitting those double missiles so consistently to secure kills for his team. Another one goes Gankstars' way.
Rekt just winding up and saying, "You're out of there," and pick up the kill. Not so bad for Gankstars. Remember game number 1, right? A lot of the early scrappiness did lead into a huge deficit that Gankstars wasn't able to recover, but there's no Kashka this round. Kashka was banned out. It's going to be Joseph that doesn't quite have the same level of impact that the Kashka does, but once level 6 comes online, once we get some of these cooldowns, it's going to be rinse, repeat, using the puppies for the engages, just following them to victory. At least that's what Cloud9 wants to do. We do have Crystal already starting up here from Old School. The only other thing I think you could even do with Joseph is after you get like the Crown and the Storm, or sorry, the Aftershock, is past that, just tank up. Like, just kind of do what Xenotech had to do last round and be that front line up there with Gabe and put everything on Old School.
So it's looking like a double CP composition from Cloud9 here with the Adagio and Fortress, something that they have looked to use, apparently. We'll have to see if they can use it to success. Comes down to the way they play it more than anything for court. We did see double CP over in the VGL. Lemon and Lime pulling it out. Wasn't as successful as they may have hoped. They won one game, lost one game as Samuel's Sky pick up against a triple melee. Now it is going to be Cloud9 doing their best to take down Gankstars. As mentioned, if Cloud9 lose this series to Gankstars, well, they will not have the chance to get second place and the bye. Looks like another fight breaking out, but Joseph tries to get his team into the fight, not able to really land an impale there. Once more, we are going to see Gankstars going back to base.
There is something to be said about the comps that have actually evolved into this, because Xenotech picking up a Sky, he already has that Frostburn, right? So I love Joseph. He's going to be looking in straight lines. He's going to be going forward with those puppies. He's going to be looking to jump people. Gabe Vizzle very much the same way, right? You have the roll forward, you have the impale forward, and that's really going to be playing into Xenotech quite a bit. And with the double CP option here for Cloud9, if we build into Aegis, after second offensive, if everybody gets that Aegis on board, it's going to be harder, I feel, for engages here from Cloud9, because every time they move forward, Xenotech and Araki can both kite backwards. You got Rekt there as well, that bright bulwark, even in a pinch of all things. So I do fear a little bit for the comp here of Cloud9.
Yeah, well, there's definitely ways to make it work. They've got the mortal wounds innately from I Love Joseph, which will shut down the healing that Lyra can put out. They've got a lot of lockdown potential, impales, and the Verse of Judgment, Giffian Wars. They can get on top of Xenotech or Araki, then they can blow them up. Speaking of which, they find the Impale. Giffian Wall goes out. Xenotech burning alive, but he will survive this fight for now. Araki now the main target as they're going to charge forward. Cloud9 looking for more, but Old School can't quite find the killing blows. Will we see another engage is the question. Joseph very low. We'll have to report away, get out of trouble. I'm looking to push forward, maybe even attempt a gold miner here. They're going to look for vision nonetheless and push into the jungle. Still away, trailing hit the healing tree, and words just not coming out right today. They may have overcommitted. Death from Above going to come out, rolls through it, Gabe Bizzle. Action movie stuff there, cinematic nonetheless, but no kills coming out of this little affair.
Yeah, not yet, but still 2-1. A little bit more of a gold advantage over to Gankstars, I think. at this point. Yeah, it's not huge amounts, but they are at least keeping
Oh, God.
on it. That old
Wow,
school dead? Yeah, okay.
the slow potential that comes out of Gankstars with this tension bow on the Gwen, single target obviously OP, but then the buckshot into a forward barrage, there's almost no escaping the harass that can come out. Cloud9 are fully aware that this gold mine is going down. It looks like they want to attempt the steal, but Bulwark goes down, but can they get the kills is the question. Does go over to Gankstars now. Cloud9 have to escape this one with their lives intact, and escape it they will. In fact, they're looking to re-engage, perhaps keep Gankstars occupied whilst Old School makes his way to the fight, but Gankstars will not be having any of your baits.
Okay, so we went from like a few hundred gold now to a solid 1,000 with that gold miner, and it's again like Old School and Joseph. Like if they find that engage, if Gabriel gets that impale, it's fantastic. But if there is a lot of space between these comps and triple ranged babysat by Elira here, like you're going to be looking through the Iraqi Zoro spam, you're going to be looking through the Xenotech spam, and Wrecked again with that Bright Bulwark as that safety option. There really is a hard time, I feel, here for Cloud9 to get close.
Cloud9 going for the bush bait, and old Joseph just got a little bit impatient
slow
towards the end. Yeah, the slow is huge. Now it's going to be Gankstars looking to siege up this turret by the looks of things, taking this minion wave right down. Forward barrages and the buckshots can do a lot of poke damage for Gankstars. Their triple range, they can siege turrets very nicely. Old School takes huge damage. Gabriel just lands the impale. Xenotech just seems so far ahead right now on this Sky, and he's looking to do a lot of work with the Frostburn as well. Old School low, Gabe Vizzle low. It looks like Cloud9 may be forced to give up this turret. Flare reveals that they are one member down here, Cloud9, and really they're just putting on a brave face. There's not really much they can do. Gabe Vizzle does go forward, knocks them all back, but looks like Gankstars will put a lot of damage down. Impale goes out, Death from above is there. The puppies flying out as Cloud9 look for the chase, but
so hard.
Gankstars very able to disengage it, and once more Cloud9 have to go back under their turret.
Now, because Joseph is going to be going like double cooldown items, you know, we're going to get that down to every 30 seconds or so, but he doesn't have that for now, so that's a tool out of the shed. Gangstar is very happy to siege.
Continuing to do so as well. Impale does land onto Rhett. They're going to look to charge forward though, as Joseph goes on towards Iraqi and Xenotech as well. Cloud9, they just haven't hit a damage item spike where they're happy yet. Joseph not quite got the Aftershock, has got the Storm Crown though. Old School only sitting on that alternating current. Interested to see where he goes next on this Adagio. Maybe a case could be made for a Shatter Glass, considering how squishy everyone is, and I'll be very interested to see where he does decide to itemize towards. But Cloud9 are struggling, and you look over towards the base of Gankstars, it's not like they have much shielding to their name either. They're just further ahead as far as damage is concerned.
Yeah, because Xenotech is building straight into those damage items. Rocky Zero, 2 items there for himself. Until Joseph picked up that Aftershock just now, he was really just Old School in his alternating current.
Well, he is going to go towards a Broken Myth by looks of things. If he was continue that build path. Aftershock, it's a huge item spike for Cloud9, something that they're going to look to try and make use of, as Joseph's just trying to hide away from vision so he can pop those puppies, get the engage going, and Cloud9 can charge on in, get Old School really close to the fight. That's where Old School wants to be, so he can land the fire, land the auto attacks. Impale goes out, doesn't connect. Araki takes a huge chunk of damage, but Old School takes even more. Gonna be the puppies pop push Gankstars back. I can't stop saying puppies now, Forecourt. Now that you've said it, it's like I can't stop. Gankstars though, they will secure this turret, and that's gonna be Cloud9 just running away.
All right, so turret down, Gankstars very much in control of the matchup so far. The triple range really just, again, defeating a lot of the engage that I think that we try to draft right here. So perhaps, you know, a Captain Fortress, perhaps a little bit more of a weapon Lance might have been in order, but the double CP, it's, if this is going to come online, it really comes down to what Joseph's going to do next, because with his 2 items online, is it going to be tank, like what we just saw at Xenotech, or is he going to go for Broken Myth himself?
I almost feel Broken Myth is necessary in a double CP composition, right? So that you can get all that piercing damage through the shielding, which inevitably Gankstars will be starting to build up. Goldmine has been started up. It will be disengaged here by Cloud9. Everyone's just falling back. from the gold miner, but they are going to look for Xenotech, caught shopping and blown up instantly.
Ouch.
He was AFK there, and that's a lot of damage going out. Now it's going to be Rekt chased down as they follow the portal through, looking for Iraqi Zoro, and he's just caught in it all, looking to escape, but he cannot. Cloud9 with 2 kills. Can they find the ace is the question. Looks like Rekt has got far enough away, but the Crystal Sentry will be punished for Rekt's escape there. Cloud9 able to finally fight.
And all Xenotech wanted to do, just look at the next pair of boots, man. That's all he wanted.
Right.
Just wanted boots, but no, he
Next
goes
collection.
down. That's pretty big. That is absolutely huge.
So huge for Cloud9, making a fight work for them. They get a turret, they equalize gold, which is the big part here. Old School has that broken myth. Joseph is going down a tanky route with the armor purchases here. And what's Old School want next is the question. Looks like he may go down some shielding of his own, get an Aegis online.
Well, the shielding is what I would expect out of Gankstars. We had an armor at one point on Iraqi Zero. Looks like he finally actually sold it. So that's good. He does pick up that Aegis on top of it. But again, like Old School is, I'm not sure that Adagio is really going to be effective enough as a one core carry. Like Joseph jumps forward, he gets that percentage damage, he has that mortal wounds. Great, that's all great utility for the group. But against Xenotech and Iraqi Zoro, I'm just not sure Old School, as good as he is, can really match the level of damage output.
Nice little rotation there by Cloud9 to secure the gold miner. Gankstars, they found it out, but it was too late.
Whoops.
Oh, huge impale. That's going to be Xenotech locked down. Ace's high stuns gave Vizzle, but here comes the attack of the pack. And Cloud9 going to chase it forward, looking for another impale. It lands, and Xenotech's taking huge damage, but can they get on top of the sky? They're looking to do so. Forward barrage is there, but he gets blown up. Iraqi now in trouble as Cloud9 diving this turret, and Iraqi will go down. Joseph very low. Joseph looking to escape, and he will just do so at the skin of his teeth. Rekt able to escape at the last second, so Cloud9 denied another ace, but they are very happy at least with the kills that they gained.
I'm going to put an addendum on top of this then. As long as Gankstars don't keep getting face checked and just jumped in bushes where Gabe Vizzle can get off 2 or 3 man impales, they shouldn't really have a trouble with these fights, but continuously getting caught like this in small little areas, that's where Gabe Vizzle shines. And we've seen this guy make outstanding plays as Lance multiple games, multiple weeks in this entire season. And I feel like Gankstars are almost just shooting themselves in the foot. Like, they really do want to fight in big open areas where they can absolutely see where people are coming, where there's a lot of distance to cross, not sitting the edge of a bush and then just finding Gabe Vizzle on that Lance.
We want to dictate the fights, really. Slow them down, land the forward barrages right. As you can see,
Just like this.
Gankstars get the chance to poke down, then there's not much poke really available to Cloud9.
No, there's not.
And you know, Xenotech, he got caught at the shop, he got caught in that little choke point of the mustache bush. Looks like he's going to get caught again. 3-man impale! Giphian Wall knocks everyone backwards, doesn't quite find the stun. But Gabe Vizzle just showing his stuff as Rekt goes very low. Looks like Cloud9 trying to focus him down. Another impale lands, but Iraqi's split, and Iraqi's very low. He tries to escape, but I don't think he can. Falls to Joseph. Now Cloud9 chasing forward, but this time Xenotech and Rekt will escape alive. Cloud9 just so much pick potential, chase potential with this Fortress Adagio. And when Gabe Vizzle is landing impales like that, well, it's a scary time. They're starting the Kraken. It's going down so quickly. There's nothing Gankstars can do about this. Cloud9 have really turned the tides of this game.
Theory versus practice, Dowsy. I feel like this is a really good debate of theory versus practice. In theory, Gankstars with this triple range should be dictating absolutely. They just poke down, they find the engages, they counter kite. But the practice is that Gabe Vizzle is just styling 2 to 3 man impales, get you in walls for days, and then he's able to chase them down. And a lot of the advantage that Gankstars has built up is now just out the window. You're looking at, after this turret, 2,000 gold difference and a ton of kills over to Cloud9 all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, it's... and not even that, like, where's the shielding? Where's the shielding on Xenotech? He hasn't got his Aegis. This is double CP. You can shut it down with a bit of shielding. You can survive a lot longer with a bit of shielding. But he's gone the 3 damage item route, something that we didn't see when we saw double CP compositions in the VGL. They itemized immediately into shielding and then some even more. Yep, Sentry eliminated. Cloud9 will not chase the Kraken any further. It will go down before this Vein Crystal is destroyed Vein Crystal turret even. But Cloud9, they have taken over the game, and well, Gankstars, a lot of things to question about some of their positional plays, perhaps some of their purchases as well.
Vision game is something that you get to bring up every now and then. It's just the amount of traps out and about have been very minimal, I feel, from Rekt. He doesn't have the contraption. He's not really carrying around scout traps there either. It has been very flare based, but no contraption. Might actually be a better call item wise, but the lack of vision has really started to hurt Gankstars in these engages.
Yeah, I have to agree, and you can see Gabe Bizzle prioritizing so much vision. There's just a wall of scout traps that if Gankstars were to cross over, Cloud9 would know within seconds, and they could look to chase and find a kill. Currently, Gankstars in this bush, so they're going to go back. Gabe Bizzle may look for the find, but he doesn't flow any flares out, doesn't have a flare, so not really able to do something when you don't have it available to you. Cloud9, they're setting up. They're wanting to try and get a bait. Are they going to sit in this bush? Are they going to just steal camps? Looks like they're going to find Gankstars in their jungle here. Gabe Bizzle pops the treads. He's looking to get in, looking to find the kill, and Araki Zoro may be caught. He's going very low, and Pale going to connect. He's rooted, and that's going to be Araki just blown up here. He's trying to lay down damage, but it's not enough. Gankstars lose their carry, and that's going to be an Impale finding 2. That's wrecked down. The portal does not save, and only Xenotech left alive to defend the base. Cloud9 looking to finish it here and now. Will they look for the Impales onto Xenotech? That's a good death from above, landing lots of damage onto Cloud9. Gankstars has to 1v3. Gankstars with Xenotech, he has to hold the base. He's doing the damage, he's dodging the Impales, but can he survive? No, he cannot. The ace comes through. Joseph finds his 5th kill, and that will be this turret falling. Cloud9, double CP forecourt. They're going to take the semifinals 2-1, and they make their dream of 2nd place in NA a little bit closer.
Theory versus practice, Dowsy. And
Say it again.
Unfortunately, theory versus practice, Dowsy, but not really a lot of practice up against the double CP, I guess, in this day and age. I mean, how often do we see it in a lot of these matches? Very rare. We saw once double CP in Challenger this week. I can't even recall the second successful out of that one, but no real solid defense here out of Xeno. Went straight into the 3 items. 0, 3, and 2, I think, is enough to say about the Sky on that one. But even past that, just positional errors again and again. Just positionally caught, and Gabe Bizzle with the smooth moves. Like, he just moves forward, finds that Impale, the Githian. I was listening to your commentary as I was having a tech issue. It was just like, Impale dead. Impale dead. Impale, like, that was the rinse repeat routine right there. Gabe Bizzle just throws all the theory out the window.
That is great stuff coming out of Cloud9, but we'll let the analysts break it down further. They are through to the finals. What do you make of that, Desk?
Oh, hello there. Well, what do we make of that, guys? We're back. I mean, it's Cloud9 coming through, picking up the big win here in Game 3. Exactly what they needed to do. They now move into the finals. I mean, one of the big things that stood out, Gabe on Lance.
I mean, before we even get into Gabe on Lance,
yeah,
feel free. Everyone has...